Good morning, everybody. Gosh, today's topic's gonna be an interesting one. It is a personal one, but I think there's a lot of learnings. I think. I say that a lot, don't I? It's about boundaries, and it's about boundaries when you are a queer person. Boundaries you have with people around you that may not support you in the way that you probably need. So let's get into it. This one's a tough one for me, but I really want to share this because I really think that people can really benefit from this experience, and maybe not how not to do it. I guess when I came out to my family, my queer experience was just really heavily filled with shame and guilt that I was not living or wasn't going to live the life that my family thought I was and hoped for me, of course, right? I mean, I think they just wanted me to live the life that they thought that I was going to live, the one that they lived, and so forth. The fact that I was so stronghold on wanting to make them proud and wanting them to see me like they were just like them, I think looking back probably wasn't the best approach. Now, it was the best approach at the time with the tools I had been given. So it makes sense, But now that I look back, I think I relied too much on their validation, and I managed to neglect my own validation for myself, right? So all these years and trying to make sure that they were comfortable around me, whether that meant, not having my partner around, or if they were around, we would just be roommates, just to make them feel comfortable, especially with the kids. But in doing that, I was hurting myself. I was internalizing and deflecting and building that shame and guilt to be really heavy on me, to the point where I just, it really weighed on me. It was really difficult. Now you're probably wondering, like, what now? What has transpired now? I had to draw a line and make a clear boundary, because my partner and I were actually gonna get engaged. This was gonna be real forever, and so forth and so forth. And so that's what I did. I built the courage to basically tell my family, like, hey, like, we're gonna get engaged, and you may have your timeline that you're on, that I've been trying to maneuver, but I have my own timeline. So many years I really thought about how my experience in my life was going to change everyone else's around me, and I never really took the time to embrace who I was truly, 100%. And I tried. There were ways in which I tried to do that, and you might say, yeah, of course, Jackie, were you posting on, I was posting on social media, I was publicly saying that I was proud to be gay. Mind you, I was already in my 30s when I was doing that, but it took time. And so those are small ways for me to kind of try to express myself without being, limited. My mother was not happy to see that I posted that I was gay. Her instinctively at first, she was like, what does this mean? And for everybody, that now everyone knows. And I just keep coming back to me. What does this mean for me? Ironically enough, that was what helped me when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s. I embarked on a relationship, and I really just I let myself experience it, and I was very present, because I noticed that, I spent 4 years of my college career feeling terrible about myself, and then I looked around and I said, wow, everyone's just living their life, so maybe I should try that. There were definitely moments in my life where I really tried to be present and try to be, embrace who I was, but I just kind of couldn't really keep it up. I'd kind of dwindle down. And I don't know, I don't know where that comes from, when what could I have done differently? I think that's why I'm sharing this story, because I'm sure that there's somebody that you might know in your life who is part of the community, part of the queer and trans community, whether they're a friend or a neighbor or a colleague or a family member. And my advice to you is just embrace who they are and let them be, and love them and celebrate who they are, because there's so much shame and guilt that's transpired by a lot of people, unfortunately some family members, and other people outside of family, right? So to know that they have someone in their corner, they have someone who has their back, it means the world to them. In my case in particular, my friends, have been the backbone of my experience. They all have been beautiful supporters of my experience and all of that. When it comes to my family, my mother, God bless her soul, she's been really patient and present with me. And not everyone gets that. My brother, though, in particular, my twin brother, he was the only person in my family that when I came out to him, he actually said, he made it about me. He instinctively was like, well, first he was surprised. I'll caveat with that in true honesty. But then his words were really just like, how can I protect you? How can I be there for you? I don't want anyone to, talk smack on you. Like I want to protect you. And that, in the moment, I didn't realize how much that affected me, but it did. Because from that day on, like I never felt more like there was no difference in our relationship. Like it was just like me being gay had nothing to do with anything. It was just me being gay, and that was it. It was like the way I felt with my friends, to be honest. Brings me now to present day, right? Why am I making this video? Why is this story important? Because having people in your corner to celebrate you as you are is huge. That affirming who you are is huge. And for those of you who are part of the LGBT community and you're feeling maybe similar to what I felt, whatever you got to do to, and I'll put some resources in the description, whatever you have to do to shift your focus on making sure you're okay, making sure you realize how beautiful you are, just as you are, that is important. And that's something that it took me all this time to realize how important that was. Giving myself permission, allowing myself to be who I am. Yeah, definitely one of those moments where I look back and I'm like, I'm proud that I put my foot down with my family. And, I'm lucky. Not everyone gets the response I did, which was my family was like, okay, like if we want you in our life and this is who you are. Like, we're into it. Like, and they, eventually told their children. There's a liberating feeling that comes out of that. Gosh, like, if you're discovering things about who you are, like, I don't know, it's like, I almost think that if these things scare you, it's like, there's something there to uncover. It's liberating to uncover that. And for me, I spend most of my young and adult life, just deflecting and just really wanting me being gay not to be the case. That the minute that I started to just let myself be, I got that frustration left my body. I was just living, I was just being. And I was surrounding myself with people that were gonna be safe for me. And so that's important. Be around people that are gonna make you feel safe to be who you are. Safe and celebrated, of course. If you're having challenges with your family, everybody has a different experience of different families, but through my experience, I realized that setting boundaries was a big part of moving forward as a family and moving forward as me as a person, as an individual. And that's part of my healing process. So, cheers.